Hi, this is Eva for Once Upon a Timeline. Welcome to Midnight Mandela. Hope everybody's doing okay out there. I see there's been a little bit of drama in the Mandela Effect community there with certain posts. I don't want to get too much into it. The only thing I will say, in case you see any question to the contrary, is that I have met Moneybags, and he is a real person. So he was at the conference, the first Mandela Effect conference, live and in person. It was him. And also he does like chit chat on some of the chat lists and stuff. So, but yeah, we've seen him. A lot of us have, like, so and then also somebody I know knows somebody who knows him, and yeah, so he is there. I don't know exactly, I'm not an audio visual expert person with the video, but it does seem that if the quality of the video is too inferior and it gets highly pixelated, then it can just, like, the pixels can just be too shifty, and so if you blow them up, then it gets all blurry and weird, and I don't think you can realistically trust any blow-ups of video unless it's high quality video with a lot of definition. And I have never seen any of that strange stuff being found in high quality video of, like, oh, your teeth are moving around and you're this and that and that. So I think that really has to be taken with a huge grain of salt, doing that, because the other thing I've noticed is that people who do that, they only take the video of people they already don't trust, and then they blow it up, and then they see, oh, that looks kind of weird when it's like really, really expanded, right? But they never do that to people that they like, or even their own video. I think that if they took their own video and blew it up and really, really looked, they would also find some of this weird phenomena, but they never do that. So that's all I have to say on that matter. I mean, I don't want to. I do feel like this last week or two, I don't know if we had another shift or what, but it's like people's emotions are even more on edge than before and a little more easily triggered. And I kind of feel it with myself too, that I just kind of had to make peace with myself this week, that I was just going to be at peace that people are going to say crazy stuff that I don't agree with often, possibly at any moment, and to just be ready for it and not expect people to do anything in particular that I think they should do, and just let people be, crazy if they're going to be crazy or say crazy stuff, and just try to divorce myself for that. Stop having expectations, stop trying to judge, even though it's hard, because sometimes the stuff you hear is very mean, but and I think it's helping, I mean, whatever you can do to kind of separate yourself from the crazy, and not get sucked in, because that's the thing. My emotions were high, and then somebody else says something that I find really mean, and then I get triggered easily, and it's just not good. So I just have to, like, let people be the crazy they'll be. Pray that they'll get, at least some of them will eventually come back around, that's all you can really do. Oh, okay. Vivian, you found an interesting one. The dwarf sperm whale shoots ink. This is a good one. All right. Dwarf sperm whale shoots ink. Yeah. You remember originally it used to be octopuses only that did that, and now lots of things do. Close relative, the pygmy sperm whale can eject up to 12 liters of the inky substance, producing a dense cloud to act as a diversion tactic. What I haven't heard a lot about the octopuses doing that. I assume they still do it, right? I mean, used to see a lot of video of the octopus doing that when I was a kid. But now I just see them changing colors and stuff. I'm just going to make sure they still do it. Did they still shoot ink? Octopus ink uses. Okay, they still do use ink as a defense mechanism. All right. Okay, so they're still doing it. You know, some of the beasts now shoot like sparkly stuff. They shoot the chemical that makes it all sparkly. That would be like way more confusing if you were trying to eat something, then all of a sudden like sparkly stuff came out. All right, this disorients attackers. So we're back to pygmy sperm whales now. Relatively little is known about this elusive species. Dwarf sperm whales avoid the planes and shipping vessels scientists use to monitor marine life and tend to avoid approaching the water's surface unless sea and weather conditions are very calm. Okay, interesting storyline. I've never really heard of any sperm whales avoiding monitoring before. But it very conveniently sets up a whole excuse for, like, maybe why we didn't know stuff about them. I'm just going to write this one down. Shoots ink. Yes, very good find. See if there's any video of it. Dominica sperm whale. Alright, how about whale shoots ink? No video yet. I'm sure we'll get it. And yes, I agree. I would not at all be surprised if more whales did it. That's an octopus. Or more creatures. There's more and more creatures that do it. Let's see. How many creatures can do that? That. Okay, animals that can shoot ink. Is there any that can shoot fire? Google just shooting their prey. Okay, I'm gonna just check these ones that shoot their prey. The archfish. Okay, that one I think shoots water. That one shoots venom. And I don't think way back they could shoot venom, but then they could kind of spray it. They could spit it, and then it got more and more. So now I think they can shoot like 12 feet or something. This one shoots that acid, I think. Yeah, hot toxic chemicals from the tip of the abdomen. Velvet worm. Ooh. Velvet worms don't have a particularly interesting appearance. That's not interesting? Because I thought it is interesting. It grows up to 8 inches. That's pretty long. They shoot milky white slime. Spitting spiders. Hunts its prey like a spitting cobra and a velvet worm. The spider's venom is more dynamic and even effective in operation. The spider mix is a mix of spider silk in liquid form and venom, immobilizing and envenoming small prey. The spit traps prey in a crisscross pattern. Ugh, that's kind of creepy. Pistol worm, I think that shoots shock waves, last I remember. Cone snail, that shoots like I thought it was like a stinger. Alright, it shoots that thing. Okay, so we did find about the spiders. That's interesting. Alright, can shoot ink. I'm getting off on a tangent here. Let's try going to here. So it's all cephalopods. I believe that included like those, oh, I can't remember all the other cephalopods now. Does anything else squirt ink? Squids, that's it. Those are one of the other cephalopods. Cuttlefish, that's the one I was thinking of. Nautilus The throwback cephalopod does not. The sea hare. Okay, wait, here we go. Let's just go over to the article. The sea hare, a particularly large instantiation of sea slugs, also squirts ink. This seems like new vocabulary showing up lately. Instantiation. I don't think I remember what that means. I've seen it several times, but I forgot already. The meaning of instantiate is to represent an abstraction by a concrete instance. Okay, I still don't know what that means. Something that represents or is an example of something else. Something that represents something else. So instantiation is what? A representative something? Right on the cusp of changing the economic paradigm before the paradigm was fully instantiated. This case instantiates the core principle. Okay, what? Solidifies, maybe? A solidified example? Huh, yeah, so that word has showed up for me just very recently. Instantiation. Strangeness. All right, where was I? I think did I just, oh, here we are. The sea hare, a particularly large, I still don't get how instantiation of, like how sea hares are an instantiation. Okay, so sea hares what represent sea slugs? Also, I'm still confused on that word. Does any other animal produce bombardier beetles, cephalopods, and sea hares are the only inkers? Apparently. You won't believe what octopus ink is actually made of. All right, now I got to click on that. The ink is a combination of melanin and mucus. This combination is stored in a series of sacs. All right, that's not that weird. Oh, this is different. The color of ink expelled depends on the species of the cephalopod. Octopus ink is usually black. Squids produce dark blue. Cuttlefish ink is generally brown. It's not toxic. Contrary to popular belief, I have never heard anybody think that it was toxic. It's ink. Ink is usually not toxic. However, squids and octopuses do have venom glands. That's new for me. Squids and octopus have venom glands completely unrelated and separate from their ink sacs. Oh, ho, ho. That's new. So, these things are really quite the killers. All right, octopus have venom. Everything has venom now. Have venom. Oh, yeah, okay. I do remember they said that one was poisonous, that blue-ringed one. All octopuses are venomous, study says. One bite can kill an adult human in minutes. See, they used to say that about the man-of-war, what do you call it? Man, mine's kind of slow today. That man-of-war jellyfish, that it would kill you in minutes. And now it'll just make you sick for a few days, I think, last time I looked. So this stuff is constantly changing, too. Oops. All right, well, that didn't work out. But I'm going to guess that they're going to say that some of them aren't that poisonous. Here, let's go to Live Science. They all share a common ancient venomous ancestor. Oh, are they even saying that the other species have been quietly using their venom for predation, such as paralyzing a clam into opening its shell? Yeah, they used to just say that the octopuses were so strong they could open those shells. Now I guess they just paralyze them. So, if you could paralyze a clam, then how come all those videos where we see octopuses lately? I just saw one where an octopus, somebody was harassing an octopus and it kind of attacked him. How come they don't like sting people? Because if you can paralyze the clam, then it should at least hurt if they sting you, right? But I've never heard of that. Are they have stingers and they never use them unless you're a clam? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. All right, where do the stingers, are they placed? Where is octopus stinger? I mean, is it on the feet? An octopus has blue blood and 3 hearts. I think this one was one of the glow-in-the-dark ones. More than one brain. How many do they have? Each arm has its own mini brain. I think we had that one on recently. They're smart. They can use tools. That's been on. They can recognize people. I've not heard that, but I don't find it really surprising since most of them creatures seem to be able to do that. Builder, the octopus cities, I've covered that. Why do they have blue blood? I don't know. I'm gonna have to dig that one up later. I'm kind of curious though. If they all have venom, then why did they never use it? It just seems weird. Renee Cruz is eating lumpia pancit noodles with Chinese sauce. You know what? That sounds like really good. I could probably skip the honey ham. I'm not a huge fan of honey ham. I'm really not a huge fan of turkey either. It's okay, but it's not like my go-to. Lumpia and pancit noodles. Noodles. Do love those. My mother had a lot of Filipino friends. I have to say that me and Filipino food get along really well. It's usually not, there's usually plenty that's not overly spicy, and it's just kind of my style. There's not a lot of bread, which I don't eat because I just do better without gluten. And it's tasty. Oh my God, it's so tasty. Let's see. Presenters starting to talk about resenting the Emmy. You know, I think we're just kind of having a thing where it's just that everybody is so on edge that it's hard to, it's definitely been a challenge to kind of keep my brain healthy and not get neurotic. And it just seems like with every shift, it's like every weakness, every insecurity, every mean thing, anger, like, is just intensified. And you have a choice of getting destabilized. Well, I don't know if you have a choice of getting, but you can get to stabilize it, or you can see it and work on it. And if you don't see it and work on it, then people getting kind of crazy. And I've seen a lot, like, we shouldn't be, wanting to genocide any groups at all, but there's a lot of people, surprising them, where people go, well, just kill them all. No, nope, that is evil. That is evil. Doesn't matter which group you're talking about, on which side. We should not be advocating for genociding any group of people. Just things like that. It's just like, was this stuff always inside people and it's just getting driven out? I suspect maybe it was just your deep darkness is being driven to the top now, your shadow side. But it is disconcerting to see it out there in the daylight. I guess I'm used to not having to have it waved in my face like it has been. Some presenters start about resenting the Emmy. I think I've gone the reverse, though. I think I've just really had to work and just go, nature is what nature is. This is how it works. You can't do anything about it, I don't think. I do think maybe we can. It does seem like we manifest some of this stuff. I will definitely say that. Like a lot of the personal Mandelas I've heard of and experienced seem to be related to things that people were thinking. Like, I really like this tool. Now there's 2 of them. I really like this shirt. What the heck? How did I get 2 of these shirts? I would really think it's cool to have a river at the end of my property. Holy hand grenades, there's a river at the end of my property. It's everything you kind of lightly hope for, but don't cling on too much, is the kind of thing that seems to manifest. It's like that whole Zen manifestation thing that they talk about. Yeah, so Shari, you're talking about, a certain person. I saw the one on money bags, but I haven't seen the ones after that. Yeah, actually, Unimundi, I am actually more confused by Unimundi, because he just for years now, he's been doing videos on the color stuff, and he used to have so much of a range of different Mandelas he talked about. He found a lot of them, and then now he just does like that one thing, and it's like, I thought, well, he's gonna do this for a few months and then he's gonna get tired of it, but no, it's just been years and years and years, and that is actually the strangest thing to me. I am not actually that freaked out when somebody gets neurotic or distrustful. I've actually kind of noticed that myself this week, now that I'm thinking about it. There's been like a number of times this week where I suddenly went like, I think of that guy as this way, but what if he's really like this way? What if he's evil and I'm being naive, and then I'm like, calm down, Eva, calm down, So I've kind of been playing with how I think of things, which I think can be healthy, but I have noticed that it's been really shifty, and I've like started second guessing a lot of things. But in the end, I just have to go, well, I don't want to think the worst of somebody without having good evidence for it. So be cautious with the people you deal with, but I don't advocate you assume the worst, because you don't know if you don't have good evidence. And I don't really, there's a lot of people who have met money bags, so I don't think there's really good evidence. Oh yeah, Thanksgiving tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, on the 4th Thursday. It's funny because if you ask people, they'll still say it's, when is it? Was the 3rd or 4th Thursday? And they'll almost always say it's the 3rd Thursday. Even though it's been the 4th Thursday for several years now, they haven't quite got the memo. Practicing psychologists are running for office, citing an epidemic. I wanted to blame it on the internet and stuff, but I really feel like it's just ramping up so fast. There's got to be some kind of group energy thing going on. And that has to be influencing it, because, millennials grew up different, yes, but they're like, a lot of them are like 40 now. So they're kind of past the time when they should suddenly like be wigging out. They should have got that done when they were 20, and they should be settling down now. So, and even older generations, I'm seeing some strange behavior, although luckily not with the few people really close to me. If they're having it, they're hiding it well. They're dealing with it. Like for me, I think only once I really kind of wigged out a little the last few weeks, but most of the time it's in my head and I'm dealing with it. So you can't really see that in my mind and going, what if he's really, seems like a nice guy, but actually he's a scam artist or something. Those kind of things. Like, I'm like, well, then I'll just, you know, deal with it if it comes. I mean, it's, a lot of these people, I'm like, well, they don't have my key to my house or anything. So why do I even, why am I even so nervous? Like, it's just a weird intrusive thought of paranoia, that was like, well, they're just, some of these people are just online people. It's like, it doesn't even really matter if I got fooled or not that much. All right, we're talking about that crater. That was cool. Yeah, so let's just talk about that. So you guys don't recognize this. See, I thought it was pretty weird because I don't recognize it. Now, I think I've heard of Diamond Head. Okay, Diamond Head crater. I think I might have heard of that in at least the last year, but I've never seen this. It's really striking. One thing I've really noticed, though, is that, volcanoes used to be more like this with a little hole in it, and there'd be lava, and then if it was extinct, it would be just more like it didn't look like this, okay? I mean, way back. And we're seeing more and more with these bigger and bigger, wider centers. So this one's on Oahu. It's in the Hawaiian Islands, Oahu. So it's not like the middle of nowhere. And we've definitely talked about how, I know I have, about how the shape of Hawaii's different islands are changing and how there's more of them. But and one of the things that struck me about this is that there's like a lot of, looks like there's roads and civilizations in the center. And I haven't really seen any that were sort of like wide enough, but not super, super tall, that you basically have a protected valley in there that's reasonably accessible. And it kept its shape enough, so it's not just like a moundy of a mountain, but it actually is like this, like we're starting to see more of them, but this is the most extreme one I've seen yet like this. That is just so, it's just, I don't know. It really struck me, and it's in Hawaii. I mean, it's Oahu. It's the Hawaiian Islands, so it just seemed to me like I should have seen it before. I mean, just images of it, something. And so I thought I'd stick it up there, and I see you guys do not seem to have recognized it either, which I think is interesting, because if it's really been here this whole time, shouldn't we all have known about this? Buildings in there, and so I'm guessing then must be seasonal, whether sometimes it looks really green and then sometimes it looks really dry. So I'm kind of used to Hawaii being just like a tropical island that's always wet, but we're seeing more and more talk of dryness and fires and snow and just like it seems like it's just used to be this really wet, hot place all the time, and it's not anymore. I mean, look at the sides of this. There's nothing growing on it. Looks like there's some little houses or something in here. They wouldn't be cheap houses unless there's some kind of government facilities. I have to say, it kind of ruins the look up in there. But yeah, just crazy time. Look at that thing. So there it is, Diamond Head highlights. One of the most impressive aspects is its location. Goes back 300,000 years. The trail is 1.6 miles round trip with paved surface and handrails. I'm trying to get some info here on what to know, and then they don't really tell you. anything that really exciting about it. Like I want to know what those buildings are in there, but stop at the Kapiolani Community College Farmers Market. I mean, is that what that stuff is in the middle? All right, so here we got I was kind of looking at the islands here. I think Puwe was the last one I noticed. And I was sort of like, I think I was calling this Nihao before because it says here Nihao, but maybe that's this like mountain here or something. But I guess it's actually Puwe, not Nihao. It's kind of confusing. Like, why doesn't the name of the island come up first? So either it's Puwe or it's Nihao. Take your pick. There's Kauai. I was kind of like looking around out here, but I don't quite see a new one there yet. I feel like it's coming. This one, do we remember seeing Kaho Olawe? Did I see that one last time? I'm not sure, but that one, I don't really remember Kaho Olawe, so that one might be the newest one for me. Does it sound familiar? So it's pretty big. Lanai's been there for a while. I'm actually wondering, how long has Molokai even been there? It doesn't seem like, to me, that is been there that long, Molokai. Anyway, I could go on forever on these, but Hawaiian Islands, that's Maui then. That's the main island. Not that far from Lahaina is this Kaho Olawe. Let me just see if there's anything on it. Yeah, it doesn't. See, now there's named beaches. This is weird. What are these lines? See, there's all these lines up and down. Is that from some kind of farming? Okay, yeah, it looks like it's foliage. Yes, definitely looks like it's foliage. Some kind of trees. Look at here, it goes here, across there, and there. There's a cross there. Huh. Doesn't really look like there's water on there. So, yeah, I don't think I've seen that before. It looks like really dry, too. Island Reserve. So if it's some kind of reserve, like a preserve, then why are there's... These are clearly planted trees and some kind of... Okay, so anyway, I don't know what's going on with that, but Hawaii's always add new islands. Yeah, it's interesting. Always like tree stump, mountain, but nope, it's Hawaii. Oh, you guys talk about the night sky change. Yeah, one thing I noticed is I didn't really look the last few days, but which direction is that? That's north, south. Kind of the southwestish, or might be just more west. I'm not sure exactly where I'm lined up here, but there's been a very bright star kind of low in the sky for like really bright, and I hadn't seen one out there yet. They usually are out. Is that the west? No, that's the southeast. They're usually out in the west, so I don't know. Is that the one that moved? Ryan moved up in the sky. I don't know. It's really bright. There's almost no stars again, except for a couple days ago. I saw a lot. That's the other thing that's weird. You know, like I saw a lot of stars the other day at home, and then I just drove a short distance to here, and there's none. Almost just a few, you know, big ones. But it used to be there wasn't that much difference between my house and here as far as like this. There isn't like a sun a giant ton of light 5 miles south. Then you know something is different about how light is spreading. Orion. Okay, so that was Orion. So the ones I was seeing west in the past would be like Venus, and it was the different planets. So I guess maybe that's the Orion one over there in the east. The volcano in Iceland, people have been seeing all kinds of orbs. Iceland eruption orbs. UFOs orbs. Remember we had that volcano on that did like the crazy, looked totally fake but supposedly isn't, lightning spewing out of it. Was that's not this one, right? What one was that had the lightning that was coming out? And it, you know, that lightning, it looked all weirdly digital or something. It just it looked like Tesla. It looked like a little fake Tesla coil lightning. All right, I'm a little spaced out today, so you'll have to forgive me, I hope. Yeah, not real helpful. All different ones. Yep, and that would, I think it would take a while to hunt that down. Yeah, so let's see. How's it been going this week? Last week I felt pretty good. I was a little tired the last 2 days. I'm like a little spaced out. Not horrible. I think my overall level is definitely improving. So if I feel tired, I'm down where that would have been like a good day in the old days, and now it's like a bad day. So can't complain too much. Don't take rocks from Hawaii or you'll have Pele's curse. You know, it just seems like a lot of places have this whole curse story. So it's like, is this just something to keep people from stealing souvenirs? Probably. Speaking of diamonds, I found some diamonds a couple years ago and kind of forgot about them until the other day. Did you ever, like, I've had a few of those and I've always wondered if it was like a download, you know, because it's like, how could I find this and then just not think of it for 10 years and then send, oh yeah, I found blah, blah, blah. There's been a few of those where I really wondered if that was like in every timeline or it just kind of showed up in my timeline now. That's, yeah. Okay. It's not just me. That, yes, there's a volcano crater on Hawaii, on in Oahu, and people, I don't know if people are living in those buildings. I mean, they might be some kind of like museum or something, but I couldn't find out. I mean, maybe if I dug a lot longer I could find it. Okay, so it's not just me. Yeah, it's not just me. All right, I'm like, am I totally losing it? Okay, any of these phones in the 80s? Let's see. Okay, I do remember. Yeah, that's about right. I do remember the suitcase phones or whatever the heck they are. I do remember those. And one of the reasons I remember it is because, let's see. Was it the, yeah, it's 80s? I thought it was more like 90s, though. I don't remember these video phones, though. I definitely don't remember these. Okay, I do remember suitcase phones, but not video phones. Definitely no video phones. Definitely no. Talk tone phone for communication with the deaf. Well, I'm not deaf. I don't know, but I don't remember there being any video phones then. I'm very suspicious about that. Car phones. I mean, like, I call them suitcase phones. They were car phones. But, you know, they were this little suitcase thing, and it had a battery, and I think they hooked up somehow to the battery in the car or something, and that would kind of power them, but they had a little of their own power, if I remember right. So, yeah, they would have to, and it was tricky because the signal wasn't as good, so sometimes, you know, like, you'd have to drive another, like, to another spot in the parking lot if the signal wasn't good. So yeah, my friend had one, and sometimes I would use it. Can you imagine? Like, we thought we were the you know, the shite. You know, we were the thing. If we could make, I could make a call in my car phone. Woo! Dr. Evil's hideout. Yeah, seriously. Although I don't know if it's that good a hideout, because from the satellite, you're pretty obvious up there. Don't recall the one for the deaf. Yeah, I'm really suspicious about there being a video phone back that far. Maui looks like a profile of a person's head, and the pineal gland is where the fires were. It was the military target practice island. I have just never seen that. Have I checked to see if lava has turned any other color besides blue? Alright, let's just see. Alright, how about just colors of lava? We're gonna get the rainbow ones. They have a whole wiki for it. Lava is a color that is a shade of red. It is named after the color of volcanic lava. Dark lava is a color of lava that has cooled. Shades of, no. Okay, so they're talking about a color, not colors of lava. Why is lava different colors? Shades of red. Let's try Google. It does not look... I'm not even finding the blue lava in here, though. There's the blue lava. I'm assuming that one's an AI image. It actually looks like an AI image also. Boy, there's getting a lot of these AI images in here. Lava lamps. Alright. Is there purple lava? I'm trying to think that. We got blue and we have red. So purple lava shouldn't be that hard to get. Purple lava. Blue lava. I don't think it's there. I'm not finding too much. Good question, though. I have found so many rare minerals here. It's insane. Yeah, coyotes yipping and yelling. We get it at least once a night in our area. We have a lot of coyotes. You know, people think you're going to get peace and quiet when you move out to the country, but it's just a different racket. Instead of the drone of cars and the honking of horns, you get, you know, birds chattering, coyotes yipping, squirrels chirping, and then the birds will pound on your window sometimes. That is actually more obnoxious than most things in the city, is when they see their reflection and pound for hours on your window. And you have to kind of like train them or deter them or something. I knock on wood, it's been a few years since I've had that, but oh, it's so irritating. They see themselves in the window and then they go crazy and attack it. Now maybe they've gotten smarter in the current timeline and they don't do that as much, but we saw that those damn kangaroos were doing it too. Desert flood in Dubai. Oh my gosh. Those poor camels. Oh my gosh. I hope they don't like. See, that one's getting pulled away, poor guys. Hopefully they're there's times when I just hope that like reality isn't real and it's all a screen, and it's like whenever sad stuff happens, I'm like, I hope this is just a movie, this part, and there's not a bunch of drowning creatures there. Never seen desert flood before. I mean, most of those guys look like they'll be able to handle it, but yeah, not good. Hopefully it'll settle down rapidly there. There's a hole or cave at the top on the mountain. Okay, museum monument. Okay. I kind of figured it would be some kind of city thing because they were like long, big buildings. So it wasn't really like house style. Yeah, it is a dormant volcano, but it's just kind of weird because like I said, they're getting kind of wider but not as high. The active volcano at the Salton Sea. Wait, there's an active volcano at the Salton Sea? Active volcano. Salton Sea. Now, I have said before that I didn't remember those mud volcanoes. Yeah, okay. It's not volcanoes, is it, though? Mud volcanoes from the deep below... That's Hawaii. Salton Buttes. Geothermal field. I don't remember Salton Buttes, actually. So there was some mud volcanoes that were geothermal. And some years back, I had those on. And I'm like, I don't... Because I'm not that far from the Salton Sea. So I should know about those. Should have known. So these ones... But they're not like lava volcanoes. So to my knowledge, there's not a lava... volcano there. Group of volcanoes in California on the Salton Sea. 7 row of 5 lava domes named Mullet Island. What? No. No. Those were not there. Okay. Those were not there. No. Salton Buttes. No. So what? There's 7. There's a 7-kilometer long row of 5 lava domes. Mullet Island, North Red Hill, Obsidian Butte, Rock Hill and South Red Hill. I do remember Obsidian Butte being there. That one sounds familiar. All the rest of them I don't remember. See, the thing is, you can get obsidian and there doesn't have to be like a whole volcano there. It just has to at some time have spewed lava, but it could have been a small scale deal. And that's how I remember Obsidian Butte, is there was some low grade obsidian that could be found in one place. But people didn't really go there because the obsidian isn't that good compared to other locations. Like, what's good obsidian? It doesn't have a bunch of like ash in it and not too many holes, and you're kind of looking, you're looking for pretty patterns like this. Glass buttes, obsidian in Oregon. Yeah, okay. See, those are Oregon. Obsidian Butte, California. Now, if good obsidian can be had, then I'm going to call... okay, let's just call it Salton Sea obsidian. Salton Sea obsidian. That's probably how they call it. And if it's anything other than crap, then I call baloney. Now, I wouldn't mind if it suddenly became good stuff or something, but, see, it's not even, like, good enough to, like, they didn't, like, we don't use it even for art and stuff, because it's, yeah, see, it's got all this sand and other garbage in it, and it's just not, I don't know why, but it's, my computer is not loading images. All right. Let's go to Google. It might be not my fault. It might be on their end. Yes, it was on their end. All right, so let's see. Yeah, see, it's all cracky. Full of sand. Basically, it's spongy. Yep. All right, that's how I remember it. Now, I wouldn't mind if it started getting good, then we could go down there and collect us some. But for now, it is low quality. Now, I believe that those are the mud volcanoes. They do look like they're slowly getting some color on them now. I am going to be surprised if we do not get a huge range of colors out of this. When I first saw these mud volcanoes by Salton Sea, they had no color. Now we see there some yellow. These look like they're trying to turn blue. We've seen it everywhere else where there's like hot, like geothermal stuff that they'll oh, it's bacteria, blah blah blah. It's showing up everywhere. So okay, well, that's enough of that. You know, I'm like running off on a tangent because I'm already like, what were we talking about? The water is toxic. Oh, you mean from that volcano thing in Hawaii? These companies are crazy. The Christian Dior fall lipstick is sold here for over $200. It used to be $70. Salton Sea. Shape from Salton Sea. It didn't used to be that shape. Let me just look at it now. I didn't notice it, but now that you said it. Let's see. Map. Yeah, it's getting close. It's not perfect, but yeah, you're right. It is starting to kind of have that shape. Oh my God! Now that oh, if it turns into that even more, this opening at the end just makes it more funny. That's why I was suddenly laughing. It was not that shape before originally. Okay. Yeah, even on there it looks weird. What is this one? Used to be, I swear this is about the size that Salton Sea used to be that's out here. And it seems like there's water developing here too. So I think we're going to get water across here eventually. Because Hawaii is starting to, see, like, look at all that. What is, there's this guy. What is this thing? Let me see if I can get at the map here. No. I wish it would connect to a live map. Okay, I'm getting like, I can't stay on track today. I swear, I'm just like, la, 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 la. All right, let's get on this tract here. Let's get on the tract. Got you. We've done Diamond Head. We've done that. Okay, so an interesting thing happened this week. And I was chatting with somebody, and we are in different time zones. So I am quite sure, as was he, that we used to be 3 hours apart. And a couple days back, sometime this week, maybe it was like 4 or 5 days, suddenly he's like, oh, it's blah blah time, and I'm like, you know, so we figured out that now he's only 2 hours later than me. So if it's 1 o'clock here, it's 3 o'clock there. And then he noticed at first. He's like, wait, didn't you used to be 3 hours? I'm like, yeah, you were 3 hours. You're only 2 hours. And I'm like, oh, well, we had our time zone change last week. That must be it. And so I'm like, that explains it. That's why. And then he's like, no, because he also had his time zone change last week. So we should have changed at the same time and still have 3 hours in between. I'm positive it was 3 hours. He's positive it was 3 hours. Other witnesses in the group are positive it was 3 hours. And it's 2 hours now. So we're like, what? How? What? How? So I'm like looking at the time zone map. And he is right around here, like near this line. And I think what happened was that this line looks a little pinched over to me. I think that this red area is taking up less space, and it has moved over, and it has exposed more of this area to be in this time zone. So that was my feeling, because the minute I looked at this, I know this was pinchy down here, but I didn't think it was that pinchy. And it doesn't make sense. Why not just have Alabama? Why doesn't it just go straight down? And why wouldn't Alabama all be in this Eastern time zone? And, you know, unless the states are scooching around. But I mean, like, if you look at it now, it's not logical for Alabama to be anything other than the red, because here's the line, right? And why is Indiana have some time, like, why don't they just run the line straight down Indiana, take Kentucky, all of Tennessee, and maybe Alabama, right? And all of those should be red. It would just be logical. And this is one thing I don't remember. This is Michigan. For me, there was only one piece of Michigan, but now we have this two split Michigan. And this finger is getting longer and longer. JoJo's noticed that. And I think I've commented on that before. And it's got like this little nub on the end of it now that I don't remember, like a little circle thing. And I don't remember, why was Michigan like half in the yellow time zone and half in the red? Why isn't it all Eastern here? I don't remember. It's illogical to split it right there. Why? Just have it all the same. I mean, like, this is so crazy. The other thing I don't remember is what is going on with Arizona. So I looked up, like, what are all these lines? Apparently, Arizona has opted out of daylight savings time. But I thought the whole country voted to end daylight savings time. But then they're like, oh, you can vote to end it, but then the legislature has to end it. I'm like, why do we vote even then? I mean, like, if we vote to end it, it should be ended, right? But then, like, how did Arizona get to end it when the rest, I don't, this whole thing is weird. So Arizona apparently voted to end, or somehow didn't do daylight savings time in the current timeline, except for the Navajo Nation, which is here. And then if you look at it, it's also got like chunks all around. Like it's in all four corners is the Navajo Nation. So apparently the Navajo Nation's like, no, we are going to do daylight savings time like these other three states around us. So there's a big chew part of Arizona that does do daylight saving time. But in the current reality, the Hopi Nation is completely inside the Navajo Nation. And the Hopi Nation voted not to have daylight savings time. So that's why it's all weird here, where it goes no, yes, no. And if you look up the Hopi Navajo story, like how did the Hopi Nation end up inside the Navajo Nation, there's all this weird stuff that has to do with, well, they drew the line so that both tribes could get some benefit from this natural resource. I think it was oil or something, and they had to have the lines like that. And then some people got kicked out of their ancestral lands because they drew the lines and blah blah. It's all crazy town, and I've not heard of that going way back, anything like that. So supposedly the Hopi and the Navajo experience angst, you know, like there's a little bit of bad blood in there due to this people getting, like, Navajos land was given to the Hopi and blah blah blah, and they're like, but it was now their own tribe's governments that agreed to it, so they can't all blame it on the feds like normal. But I don't know, that whole story's weird, but I just don't remember that. And just looking at it, it's still ridiculous. Like, why is a little chunk of Oregon over here in this time zone, and then why is pieces of Montana over in this time zone? And then why wouldn't they run this line straight down here? I mean, like, what? You know, it's like, what is going on? It's crazy town. It's crazy town. Okay, so the other thing weird about this, though, this is where it gets really confusing, is, so this person remembers the 3-hour difference, as do all of us. But now it will be 1-2-hour difference, but he also remembers there being a 1-hour difference between here and some people he knows over here. So he still remembers, as it currently is, a 1-hour difference from here, but then he remembers the 3-hour difference in here, and I'm like, but that's too many hours, right? So, like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, so that doesn't make sense. But I'm like, yeah, but we all remember the 3-hour difference, and only you remember the 1-hour difference over here. So did you get the download? I mean, like, these two memories do not match. The two memories in his head do not match. It's impossible for them both to be true, as best as I can figure out anyways. I mean, is there... And I don't remember anything weird enough about these time zone maps that I could use to make his two memories both work. So that's another confusion. It's like, was it a partial download and he didn't get the whole pile, and now he's got two memories that don't match? I don't know, but that was the other confusion. All right, so there's another example of it. This one was weird because it shows more detail, and I've never seen one that showed this much detail. So it shows the time zones going into the Great Lakes here, and it's all jiggity jaggedy, and I don't know what to think about it, but I just threw it in there. I don't know why. It made sense earlier. So then I'm looking at the global one. We've kind of went over this before, but it seems even worse. I mean, like, if you look at Alaska, a lot of us think that Alaska has been, like, stretching out and getting bigger. And if you look at the weirdness of the time zone maps, you can kind of see what's been stretching by how these lines zag. So this one should be all in here. I mean, there's only a few niblets of Alaska still that aren't, you know, like, what am I trying to say? Okay, there's almost none of Alaska in this line except for here. It should be in this one. That's what I'm trying to say. Or maybe even in this one, but really it should be in this green line. And yet it's all being counted as yellow. But it would make sense if it was all originally in pretty much in this time zone and it's gotten stretched out and somehow the time hasn't shifted yet for them. Like the universe has not sorted out the time zones. But so that was one. And then we feel like a lot of us feel that this area has been stretched out, and you can see it looks stretched, like the time zone even stretched out. This time zone and then here again, I feel like this area has stretched, and you can kind of see it in the time zones. This one is the one that really confuses me though, because first of all, why would all of this be blue here, like Argentina and stuff, when it's clearly in either this red or this yellow time zone? It is not over here. None of Argentina is over there. So what's going on? You know, like Chile, why are you blue? This actually makes it look like all of South America was way over here and then has slipped this way. Whereas from my perspective, and most of you, I think it's the reverse, that it is docking into this blue line, and tipping and docking in. So maybe, is this like the future time zone is going to line up and this is going to slide in over here, or like what's the deal? But this is the one that kind of breaks the story for me, because it is actually opposite. It does not match with the existing, but it matches with where it seems to be going. Here's another one. So Africa for me has been bulging out. This section has been bulging out. And again, you see that this red area you would think would be here has pushed all the way out into there. And this blue area, which should be like here, has pushed out to there. This country, why is this country not blue? Why is it green? Like it is totally in the blue time zone. So it should be blue, but yet it's, you know, green. What the heck? A lot of these, I'm not even sure what's going on over here. But clearly a lot of these are clearly in the green time zone, but yet they're not green. Russia is just, this one is weird because Russia to me has been stretching like this, and it's just missing time zones, sort of. Like China is this red time zone, all of it, even, okay, maybe China all wants to be the same, right? But like Mongolia is part in the yellow and part in the red, okay, but I mean, why not just use the last bit of it, since China below you is also red? So kind of weird there. But then, like, what? This country, this piece of Russia is clearly in the red, but there is no red time zone, and it just jumps over it all the way to the blue. Okay, but if they wanted it to be logical, then why are the green ones way over here and this yellow one way over here? I mean, like, this is crazy town in here. This is crazy town. I don't know. So it's just weirder every time I look at it, is basically the thing. This one, though, this one is getting me, because this is the one that's not fitting the rule. Like, why is it all got the blue time zone there? Making me crazy. I was recommended by YouTube videos about the refractory period after doing the wild thing, which means it's most likely going to change. I'll have to check into that. You know, I do see some of the, like, occasionally I'll run into one that's fairly pornographic, and I usually don't cover that one because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube, and it's not a porn show. But I do have a couple of those. I just keep them to myself. And a couple of them have flipped back and forth, too. Check the countries and find a false info on Google. Iran does not have the DST anymore, but Google says it has the DST. I'm not sure what the DST is anymore. Ditch the time change scam. Oh, the daylight savings time. Got it. Okay. Iran does not have daylight savings time. Okay. I don't know. So I've said it before, but I wonder if these time changes have gotten so complicated, and then when each country shifts is changed, and then some are doing it and some aren't, and then some are changing it at different times, and so it's like hiding a lot of stuff. And so that's why I'm kind of wondering, like, what happened with me and that guy was that we saw that there was the change from 3 to 2 hours, and immediately I am the first one to Mandela explain it away. Oh, it's just because of the time change. He's like, no, it's not, because of this. So, like, if he hadn't been there to correct me, then I might have just saw that on my own and went, oh, it must be a time change thing. So I do wonder if it's going to be hiding changes. If the time change thing is going to be hiding changes, it could be that we can look for a shift during that time, like we would expect when, like, say, the United States time zone shift. We might want to look for shifts at that time. Although maybe there'll only be the shifts on the one thing, which is time. But I do feel like that we had a lot of reports of, like, weird time anomalies in the last few weeks before this shift also, like the actual time shift, the official time shift. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe we should, like, eyes to the prize, eagle eyes, during the next return time shift, if there might be benefit in that. Look for a time anomalies. Look further than, see, like, I almost poo-pooed it off. Oh, it's a time just, I didn't think, so kind of be sharp-eyed on that would be my advice. This one shows it more carefully. And look at how Greenland. I mean, like, Greenland. Okay, why does it have this little nub that has green, and then the whole rest, I'm like, why is it green way out here? This whole Greenland is insane. Okay. All right, I could go on forever, so I'm going to have to stop. Looks like I'm in super chitty-chatty mode today. All right. Oh, yeah. Here we go. All right, we did that one. Time zone maps. All right, I'm going to go through some saved ones that I have. All right, this guy we had on before, he had some kind of brain injury, and they carved out a chunk of his brain, and I actually can't find the name on this post, but I remember having this one on before. And there's two things. The last time I had it on is because I don't remember you being able to have, maybe if you were a child and you lost a chunk of brain, you could, the neuroplasticity and all that, you could kind of still survive, but I don't remember you could just have like 2/3 of your brain removed and still operate. And apparently this is not from childhood. So look at, he has no brain left. I don't remember this much being gone is why I have this on here. I've had him on before, but I don't remember the cavern going more than halfway back in there. And I couldn't find much info on this guy. Like, obviously he's alive, and how much brain function he has and stuff. But I don't remember it. There must have been some kind of accident, because see, he's got scar tissue here and stuff too. But if you turn on the video, I don't think it even had sound either. But yeah, there's just a lot more missing. He's just missing a lot more brain material than last time I checked. So that's one of the reasons I put that one on. And also, it's been a long time, so some of you may have not seen that one. Okay, there's that one. All right, this one. This one always gets me. I've had it on before that I don't remember. You could ride your motorcycle fast and then do a whole loop-de-loop. In my timeline, if you try to do a loop-de-loop, you're just going to fall on your head. There's not, whatever the math is, it was not doable. Okay, so we'd gotten to where you could do it in motorcycles in these cage, and you're seeing these cages now for these motorcycles to do that. We couldn't do that before in my old timeline. But at first it was only motorcycles, now it's cars. And here's the thing about these cars. They're not even going very fast, okay? It's like, it looks so surreal to me because it's like it literally is like Hot Wheels cars. Let me just expand it here. I mean, they even made it red like it's like a Hot Wheels playset. I mean, like that stuff you did with cars when you were a kid, like the little play cars that was impossible. It's possible now. It works. All right, I'm just going to jump ahead. So I did spend some time looking into, they have these lines here. I'm like, is this some kind of magnetic grabber thing? You know, that like with maybe an EM field that holds the cars down to the surface? And the answer, as best I can see, is no. And you'll see that there's not really any tech or anything here. They said that these lines are so that the drivers can make sure they don't fall off the edge. So it's just like to keep on course, basically. So as best I can tell, these are not tracks. They're not magnetic grabbery things or anything my brain can come up with. They are just painted on there so you don't get confused. All right, so here we go. I should probably play it enough so you can gauge the speed because it's slow. And when I watched the comments, there was a lot of people in the comments saying it looks too slow. It feels like they'd fall on the hood, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I mean, this is supposed to be the actual, it's not slowed down. You can just stick on there at that speed, apparently, is sufficient to not fall off. And it blows me away. It really does. So this is supposed to be real-time speed. I mean, at least the motorcycles drove faster. I mean, this is crazy. It's just crazy. And you can see when they kind of come off that they jounce about right for this being the right speed. You know, so like that part right there, the fly time looks right for that being. Yeah, so I think that's legit, and so we can do that now, basically. Be amazed. I am amazed. I am definitely amazed. All east of Mississippi was 3-hour difference. The current local time in Mississippi. So you remember Mississippi being the dividing line. All right, there's nothing about it being the dividing line. I actually remember way back, they would try to, the global zones, they would try to follow it as close as they could, but they would also go along the edges of the state so that all the state was the same. So it lined up pretty good, like as much as logically you could squeeze your state in, and then they would pick the closest zone, and then they would say that whole state is that zone. And they were all like that. And I think there might have been one or two things where it was really hard to squeeze in, and then they would just cut the line. But they were all completely logical, like as logical as you could get. And now it's crazy. And, you know, I've said many times before that if that ever starts to make sense again, I'll kind of feel like maybe we're coming to the end of the crazy. Like the time zones get cleaned up at in the new location. But it's the reverse. It's just getting wilder with more and more confusion and little when you start it. Oh, this guy's going to start it. This is not going to do it. With this Arizona business, it is not getting anywhere near straight. It's going the opposite. This is so slow. Is it real? Do we really have Hot Wheels? Yes, we have Hot Wheels. I know, I know. So, I mean, I kind of would assume that they're making it deliberately look like Hot Wheels, but I mean, the thing is, so it's real life Hot Wheels with the loop-de-loops, you know, and like, I don't know. So this is interesting because according to this guy, Mythbusters tried to do it and failed, and he's saying, oh well, they used a rocket car. Oh, and oh, the story is they failed because of jouncing. Like, a bunch of people on here saying that the reason Hot Wheels cars failed before was because they had a suspension that would make them bounce, and so they would bounce too much, and then they would bounce like off the it would bounce off. And I kind of don't understand it, because even if you bounce, you're still pushing in the same direction. You should connect again to the road, right? Because you're going forward and the road's not going forward. And I don't see how you would jounce off and fall, because your momentum is going to be into the road for the entire loop-de-loop. So that's why this guy talking here, their myth failed because the cars were bottoming out and crashing into the ramp. Okay, so they're saying it kind of smashed into the ramp. Yeah, I don't like. I mean, if we could always do this, then why is it just showing up now? So part of the argument was that they have the suspension just right on these Hot Wheels to not mess up the system. But I mean, that shouldn't, compared to many things that we do, it shouldn't have been that complicated for them to figure it out. See here, this person, I think they attached to those black lines. That's the first thing I was thinking, because this is impossible. It looks impossible. A bunch of people are going, and this is impossible. It must be those lines. It must be something. Now this guy, the reason no normal car can do this is because you have a suspension. The suspension hits bottom and then bounces, forcing you off the ground, likely at a point of vertical wall, and forces the car off as it rebounds since the force changes, blah, blah, blah. So they're basically saying if you just don't have suspension, you'll be fine. So then you're not jouncy. But again, like, if it was that simple, why didn't we do it 100 years ago? Vivian's going to bed. Thanks for coming. And thanks for contributing your Mandela. So, you know, I don't know. They titled it Hot Wheels, but I don't know what they're calling this in real life. This is just the title of this Reddit post. I feel like they made it look like Hot Wheels, but maybe that's just how they've always done it. I mean, it's got to be... Doesn't it have to be going way back in the current timeline? This can't be the first time they did it in this timeline. Hot Wheels in real life. So what's... Oh, it does say Hot Wheels. It says Hot Wheels. Okay, I lied. It says Hot Wheels. I don't know. Is there any clues here on what this is other than Hot Wheels? I mean, I'm pretty sure this is real. It's the X Games. Hot Wheels X Games. X Games. Real life. Okay. I think it's here. I think it might be the Double Dare Snare. Hot Wheels, real life, Double Dare Snare. Snare loop. Double Dare loop. Yep. Well, it looks legit. Yep, that's it. It's the double dare, double loop dare, double dare loop. How cool would it be if your Hot Wheels cars were life size and could drive on massive loop tracks? At the 2012 X Games in LA, Team Hot Wheels professional drivers did it. There it is. Yep. So it's legit. Ooh, they had a near crash during testing. All right, so yeah, that's all the info if you need to dig it up. Yeah, oh, you found it. You found it. Yeah, 2012. Okay, so there we go. Real life Hot Wheels. This one, I almost didn't have it on there, but I guess I have time. I'm just going to mention it. There's so many creatures swimming out in the ocean now. We had alligators. So this one's about a cassowary, which is those really colorful, mean land birds in Australia that are sort of like emus, but smaller, but real colorful and mean. And so the story here is that somebody found a cassowary swimming in the ocean quite a ways from shore, like swimming back towards the shore. So these things are pretty mean, so you wouldn't like really volunteer to like save it, because it would like kick your head in and stuff. So you don't, but apparently it was okay in swimming back, so they're suddenly really good swimmers. Here he is. He does make it back. So this is all blue here. Is the head. They're crazy things. So apparently they're really good swimmers now, and we've seen enough with the swimming pigs, and then the alligators going way out into the ocean, and all these things that I would not be exactly shocked if we have more of these beasts. Like, didn't you always know that they're great swimmers and they swim way out into and catch fish, or I don't know what storyline they'll come up with, but it seemed a little interesting that this one went viral, so I'm covering it. Whoops, here we go. All right, this one. I've had Cano Cristales River before on here, but something has changed, because when I looked it up before, and the plant that made it pretty did not look like clouds. It just had ordinary red leaves. From a distance was quite pretty. So Cano Cristales is this river in Colombia that has beautiful colors. Now, I also remember more colors. I thought there was like blue in there. It wasn't just pink with like the normal green plants. There were more colors, but now apparently, as best I can tell, it's all pinks and some greens, and they're saying and it reflects the blue of the sky. And I swear there was blue plants in there. But now, and it's funny because I didn't type in blue, but it kept saying, in the blue of the sky, in the blue of the sky. Like, it's like really trying to make me think that that's where the blue came from. But no, I thought it was. So these plants that now have like this puffy, they were leaves before. They weren't these, sometimes called orchid of the falls. They're, and then the story then is that like they anchor to the rocks with their stems, not their roots, and the anchor is stronger than stone, which I'm kind of confused. Like, they're like, oh, the stone will break before the anchor could break. And then they say these puffy things are like the roots. They go up and they collect the nutrients. So it's like upside down. It has no leaves. And why the hell is it pink? I mean, like, no chlorophyll? I mean, I don't know. It's got... So it's like these weird cloud things now. And it was just leaves before. They cling to the riverbed, but with their stems, not the roots. By one of the most powerful adhesives in nature. And none of this was on there when I looked up Cano Cristale. And I've looked it up several times. I've had it on here several times. So it's got this super adhesive now. They're going to say that it's stronger than the rock itself. The rock itself will break before these anchors lose their grip. So it's not an ordinary plant anymore. It used to be just a pretty vine that grew in there, but now it's this. So it's these cloud things. These feather filaments are their modified leaves, but they're saying they operate like roots because they collect the nutrients, and they do what roots normally do, gather minerals and nutrients. So then I swear it was like these leathery leaves though. I saw it before that it had a leaf that was kind of like this. It kind of reminded me of seaweed because it was kind of had like that crenulated look, and they were kind of like these long seaweedy looking leaves. And now they're these poofy feather things, which is totally different. And I actually made quite an effort to kind of eyeball the plant last time. So that was just strange. If you look up cano crystal now. Whoa. I did not want all those L's. Alright, there's some weird green on that one. But see, now the blue is just a reflection of the sky. I mean, how did it get so blue there? The sky is not even that blue. It seems a little weird. And then some greenery. Interesting. That looks a little purple. Crystal spout. So are they gonna say that there's like how did this purple get here when they say that the river is like the plant, and it's called Macarena, which I thought was kind of weird too, because I don't remember it being called Macarena, which is the plant. Cano crystal Macarena. Is it like the new, is that where the song came from in this timeline? Hey, Macarena. Oh yeah, cristales. Okay, located in the, oh, it's de la Macarena. Oh, okay. It's all right. It's near Macarena. It's not the plant. The plant is Clavigera. So you can see it does look like reverse roots. These puffy things are like reverse roots. So it doesn't really have leaves. All right. So it is a genus of flowering plants belonging to the family Podostomachia. Oh, that's kind of a pain in the butt. So I want to see like why it doesn't have greenery. Rhinosalis, Rhinolachus. See, that's not really helpful because which one is it? Just do this first one. Yeah, see, no info. It's just Rhinolachus. Anyway, so I think that one changed. It's the plant that's changed. It wasn't all weird like that. It was just a leathery, it had a pretty color, but that was it. Nothing else special. Birds didn't exist till 2 minutes ago. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, cassowaries. Okay. I have had those on the show. So way back, they were just like these brown relatives of, these walking birds that were kind of boring and brown. They would sometimes cover them when they covered emus, but they were like dinky, and now they're all colorful. They have this huge thing. They'll kick your butt all over Dodge. When they first started out, they just said they're kind of ornery. So you can see how the story just grows and grows. All right, so I thought this was interesting because this was from like 2016, and I just don't remember any of this yammer. So this is a prehistoric sewing needle, but that it wasn't made by humans. It was made by Denisovans. So our relatives there, the Denisovans. But it was discovered in 2016. Or somewhere thereabouts. That's when the articles were at. 500,000-year-old sewing needle is not a product of human, not Homo sapiens sapiens. Instead, it was crafted by the hands of our ancient relatives, the Denisovans. So now we've got like fairly smart Denisovans. We've got fairly smart, what was that other species? Neanderthals. And then they're saying, oh, we interbred and all this stuff. So, I don't know. It's just really suspicious. I don't remember that being there in 2016. You could, let's see, that thing was like almost 3 inches long. So, like that long. I mean, there could be some argument that maybe they just guessed wrong and it wasn't from Denisovans. It was from one of the others, but the whole storyline's kind of getting crazy on that. All right, so that one, another example of the past getting more sophisticated. This one was bizarre. I have never heard of this. In the implications of this, you'd think you would have heard about it because this is crazy town. Okay, so there is this thing called Devil's Hole. And it is like a giant hole with natural water. I think it's a spring. Devil's Hole branches. Okay. A geothermal pool within a limestone cavern in the Amargosa Desert in the Amargosa Valley of Nevada, east of Amargosa Range. Blah, blah, blah. Kind of near Death Valley then. I have never heard of this Devil's Hole, but there's this thermal water source in there. So what's weird about it is that they're saying that there's water down there, okay? You can see that it looks like it's actually a pretty big hole. It doesn't look like a big hole here, but my understanding from them talking is that this is like a bridge you can go across or something. And they're saying that the water down here, if there's like an earthquake in China, it causes this water to slosh. And that is crazy town. So there would have to be a connection all the way, an underground water connection all the way to China, or at least nearby where those plates move, which would be, halfway around the earth or something, to slosh this water. And, even just trying to think, that the slosh would travel that far, my brain is like hurting thinking about it. So I'm going to expand this so you can see it. So here it is sloshing, supposedly from an earthquake somewhere. You can see it's pretty good, a bunch of sloshing. So they were saying like something like, oh, the bridge is covered, and I think these are seats and stuff down here. So, that's it. It's some serious sloshing, okay? I mean, this is not like small time. Not like little ripples. Powerful earthquakes as far away as Japan, Chile, and Indonesia have caused the water to slosh in Devil's Hole. Like water in a bathtub. It is connected to an extensive cavern system. Okay, so here is the wiki that they're talking about. Devil's Hole branches into caverns at least 430 feet deep, whose bottom has never been mapped. According to geologists, the caves were formed over 500,000 years ago. The pool has frequently experienced activity due to faraway earthquakes in Japan, Indonesia, Mexico, and Chile, which have been likened to extremely small-scale tsunamis. All right, so here's like a map of the thing. Let me see if I can make this bigger. So, here's the water table. So I guess you're looking down and seeing water like right here with a little bit of those rocks, and that's the sloshing we saw. Okay, so I'm trying to see, this is depth in meters. All right, so looks like it was 20 meters from one side to the other, so 30 feet across. Yeah, so it's like a big building size down there. And they mapped it. I'm kind of confused how they got through here. Like, this kind of doesn't make sense to me here, because if there's loose rocks here and then it's open underneath the loose rocks, like, how is that even possible? Like, can these rocks just fall down here? Like, and these rocks, like, wouldn't these rocks, like, I'm kind of confused. Is this sticking out from the side of the hole here, or like what? I mean, like, how does that work? But anyway, there's a cross section, so it gets like way wider, and then it goes down, and then there's this weird little cave system here that doesn't reach the surface. And they said there's air up in this one, so it just. But so basically, I mean, like, just imagine like something happens and like the earth moves in like China, and then somehow it's all connected way down there. So this is like really strong evidence for like the current timeline there being some kind of giant ocean under there. You'd think you'd hear so much more about this, because this is crazy town. Crazy town. Diagram of the Devil's Hole. Oh, here's another one. Let me see what this one looks like. No, it's this one. Vertical distance above. I'm not sure what this is now, frankly. And why does it have bricks? Showing underground features of Devil's Hole. Okay, I'm confused by that map, so I cry uncle. Alright, so if that wasn't enough, they have this rare fish that lives in there. It's called the pupfish. So, like, how did it get in there? And it doesn't look like there's a lot of food. These things are really, looks like they're like blue or something. These are like neat looking. Wait. So they're pretty fish. They just happen to have bright blue fish in this scunchy ancient hole. You kind of have to wonder if maybe, you know, there's going to be a story like these fish travel underground, or I don't know. Why are they blue? They just happen to be, all the new stuff looks styling. Of course, they're endangered, but are they endangered? Right, let me just pull this down. I can't see right there because the camera setup is right on there, so that's why I have to yank it down. Located 200 meters north of Devil's Hole is a separate cave system called Devil's Hole Cave Number 2. Oh, that was what I was looking at. That weird thing did not look like the first one. It was the Devil's Hole Cave Number 2. The cave openings are connected to Devil's Hole by an access road and covered with a locked grate. A passable deep water connection to Devil's Hole 1 has been theorized, but remains undiscovered. So maybe it's 400 feet down or something. But yeah, I just have not ever heard of that. that earthquakes on the other side of the earth will cause sloshing of water. Punkfish. It's pupfish, like doggies and puppies. Pupfish. Oh, it got low again. Let me see. Hold on. Testing. You know, it looks, let me see. 1, 2. Yeah. It does look like it got low again. Well, I'm not going to change it now because we're almost done. I'll have to check that next week. I might have to go back into the settings and look at it again. See, I haven't touched this thing. So it just might be one of those things where I have to keep checking the settings all the time. So apologies. But yeah, now that you mention it, it looks like it's only going halfway, and it usually goes way like up into here, which is better. Bummers. Okay, wait. I'm like totally spaced out today. Okay, here we go. So that was Devil's Hole. Just reading some of the comments. Okay. I'm really having problems staying on task today. All right, there's Diamond Head. I already did Diamond Head. All right, I think that's it. That's it. Yes. Oh, there's only 7 minutes left. Okay. I fell. Yeah, you know, the first time I heard that, I fell into Burning Ring of Fire. I thought it was a new indie song. I was like, I had not heard that before until maybe like 8 years ago, and I'm like, oh, this new indie song is awesome. And then I found out it was like really old one. I don't know if I just didn't know what was going on and missed it, or if it's a Mandela for me or what, but I don't know. I love that song though. I love that song. It's just the best. All right, well, I think I'm done, and I don't even. Oh, wait. No, I did it. There's still one's on here. Let me see. All right, did Denny Sovins, man. Yeah. I did time zone change. I do have another one. Nah, okay. Little ones. All right. 6 minutes. There was a famous psychic. I think he was in the 80s, 90s. He was a psychic that was on TV. And his name was either John Edward or John Edwards. Okay, so pick from memory now. Edward or Edwards. Basically, is there an S on the end or is there not an S on the end? Okay, that's question number 1. Question number 2 is Jello brand gelatin. How do you spell Jello? Like the brand name, Jello brand gelatin, not the stuff itself, but the brand name. Those of you who used to consume Jello brand gelatin. So the Jello one brought to you by user on Retcon, Magical Mushrooms, with 4 O's in there. It's kind of a funny one considering the subject matter, but yes, Jello. So we're talking about the company name, not the stuff. Click on the 3 dots next to the microphone volume. Click Advanced Audio Properties. Okay, let's see. I'd have to go into settings, I think, for that. Wait, oh, here. 3 dots. Click Advanced Audio Properties. Doink. There. All right. Increase the volume past 100. Does it even have? No, that's just balance. Wait, hold on. I don't think you can increase it past 100. 400. Oh, I see. I don't see how you do that, though. Where is the part where you can increase it past 400? Oh, there. Volume. Okay. Desktop audio. Nope. Ah, there. Aha. Ha, ha, ha. All right. Got it. Oh, I see. So maybe I'll do it at like, let me do it at like 300. I'll do it at 250 because that'll be, then it'll suddenly get loud. So I think I can just close it, right? Close. All right. Am I a lot louder now? Testing, testing. It looks like it's the same. I might have to exit and start again. All right, so the famous psychic, I'm going to type in what I remember, which is John Edwards with an S. John Edwards. And I actually have to write psychic because there was some lawyer dude that comes up, as if it wasn't confusing enough. John Edward is the psychic. So I stumbled onto this one myself because he had a YouTube thing on. I also do not remember the green eyes. Now I can't swear to that one, but the green eyes are kind of spooking me. I thought he had brown eyes. I don't know if this is manipulated, but his name has never had an S in this timeline. John Edward. Crossing over with John Edward, which has been syndicated, blah, 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 blah. And then if you look at jello, so most of you just wrote jello, like jello. Jello brand was the same as the stuff. That's what I remember. But here is the real world. This is very recent one here. There's a dash. That's the thing. There's always been a dash. I literally, okay, maybe I didn't pay attention to these more recent ones, but 74 to 2001, there was a dash. There was always a dash. This should be the era that I remember. I actually also remember a capital J and lowercase ELLO in there. But yeah, I don't remember that dash. Other people don't remember any of these. Even if they do remember the dash, it doesn't look right. So yeah, that one's pretty slippery. Okay, yes. So now everybody who turned up their sound is going to lose their ears. So I apologize, but if you were listening to the chatter, you would have been ready. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Sapioid. That's so last time I fixed it, I went into like settings and I did something there in the Windows settings, and it seems to have shifted back after a couple weeks. So all right, well, I will definitely consider ramping it a little more for next time, but everybody, I'm almost done with the show, so yeah. So you remember S? Yeah, it's Jello has stolen the dash from Kit Kat. Sapioid is our computer guru for the show, so thank you very much. Appreciate that. It's also nice to know how to use more stuff on the OBS Studios, because I'll probably just stick with it. I don't really even see any reason to use anything else, even if I did become, like, win the lottery or something. Anyway, it is time for me to hit it. Thank you for letting me know. If the sound is bad next time, please let me know early on. So I know I'm going to now get like comments going, I can't hear you. And I hate it when I can't hear other people. So I have sympathy. So my apologies. And, everybody just watch your emotions. It's been a little bit rocky for a lot of people. And, so work on your calmness and, all that stuff. Think good thoughts, everybody. This is Eva signing off for Once Upon a Timeline.